It is late, but it is not too late. We can change it. Effort must be universal and collaborative. It will require our leaders to find extra energy, greater empathy, to reduce tribal warfare, and to inspire the collective. They cannot and must not be left alone to try and fix it. We must help them.
Bless up my people. Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl and Isabel Rose. Thanks to all the new subscribers. Thanks to the returning subscribers. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn the post notification bell on. Put it on all so you won't miss an upload from me. On the road to 20k, help me to get there, my people. So in this one, my people, the Integrity Commission rejects overreaching statement from the Solicitor General, as well as former PSOJ criticizes current political leadership over their inability to listen to the voices that matter. Stay tuned for the details of this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Go over to my other channel at Bell Rose Short Media and subscribe to that channel. Get that channel to 1k. Please and thanks. So my people, the Integrity Commission is pushing back against suggestions of overreach when seeking information as part of their review of statutory declarations. And these allegations were made by the Solicitor General Marlene Aldred during a meeting of the Parliament's Joint Select Committee. According to Ms. Aldred, the Integrity Commission, in her opinion, could be incorrectly exercising its powers. She stated while it's the duty of the Director of Information and Complaints to review statutory declarations, the office does not have the power to summon individuals. She says that this behavior could be seen as an overreach by the Commission.
So for instance, there are times when the Integrity Commission will write back to a declarant and indicate that they need more information. But depending on what they're asking for and depending on how they're going about it, it may not really fall under their powers of verifying a statutory declaration. It may really fall under their powers to conduct an investigation. And those are done under different sections and they have different powers that which they must operate on under in different sections. From my perspective, I've seen some examples where it's kind of questionable whether there is some overreach when they are doing the verification of a statutory declaration, which looks more like an investigation.
Exactly.
And the thing is, if you're conducting the investigation, you're supposed to operate in a different manner. So the person, so if you are going to summon the person to come before you, the person should then be made aware that this is really an investigation and not that you are doing some verification of a statutory declaration.
And so in a statement on Friday, the Commission rejected the allegations' assertion as false. It says the Director of Information and Complaints has never issued summons, as he has no lawful authority to do so. So everybody are come out in the woodworks now against the Integrity Commissions. But people them not think that the Integrity Commissions know them work. So you're in a committee and I say they are overreaching as it pertains to statutory declarations. So what me would I like to know is nobody no want file no statutory declarations if it's in the law that if you're working a certain amount, and currently that amount is $3.5 million per year, right? The IC are trying to sort out a different law in which them can raise that to $12 million per year, right? And you have to file your statutory declaration. So nobody, it seems, no one for filing statutory declarations. We've seen of recently where Malahoo Ford came out and saying that, quote unquote, the IC have strength for the parliamentarians. So in this segment, my people, a former president of the PSOJ, Howard Mitchell, has criticized the country's political leadership, saying it has lost the sight of democratic nature of the Jamaican society. He delivered this keynote address at the Campions College annual Archbishop lecture. He says over the years there's been a decline in the political directorate's ability to listen to the voices that matter. Jamaicans must now be on the lookout for signs of autocratic leadership rather than democracy. So, when you hear it from this here former president of the PSOJ. And I want to take in a clippings of some more of what he said during that speech at the lecture.
It is late, but it is not too late. We can change it. Effort must be universal and collaborative. It will require our leaders to find extra energy, greater empathy, to reduce tribal warfare, and to inspire the collective. They cannot and must not be left alone to try and fix it. We must help them, and they must be open to help. Civil society must redefine the values and attitude that as independent Jamaicans in the 21st century, we wish to adopt and be part of our way of life. And then we must teach them and live those values and those attitudes in our schools, in our churches, in the workplace, on the street, in parliament, in our homes. They must become gospel. There is greater attention to commerce nowadays than the needs of civil society. Human capital has lost its voice and its position, and the emphasis on tribal politics has destroyed the fabric of communities, promoted a client-patron dependent relationship with our citizens, and rendered us incapable of efficiently communicating with, maintaining the social guardrails and directional signs that keep our leadership on track. On the other hand, our political leadership has lost sight of the reality that true power resides in what social scientists are calling smart collaboration with other stakeholders, and many of them have fallen into the trap of believing that they were elected to rule rather than to represent. So while we ponder on that human cost, there is another consequence to our inadequate followership and consequent substandard and low leadership. That is the danger to our political culture. It's undeniable that Jamaica is a democracy. Our sweat and tears have been expended to root our constitution and structure our political system in democratic soil. We've had some slip-ups and some near misses, but we are still a democracy. Having said that, the watchword must be eternal vigilance by us as followers, and we must observe our leadership for signs of the dreaded virus of autocracy.
And I've seen where quite a number of persons have slammed this government as well, saying that, they don't consult the people first who they are representing, right? For any input, so to speak. It's not a democracy system as Jamaica is used to, but more of a dictatorship. That's the word on the street, my people. And in this, Mr. Howard said a whole lot of stuff, my people. But the part that stood out to me when he said, some of the directorates have gotten lost in the sense where they are set to represent the people rather than to rule the people. And based on how the people must say, this current government is a dictator. It speaks volume. Have we really gone away from the whole democracy system? Chat up my people and tell me what you think about everything that was said in this video. Tell me what you think about this Solicitor General basically telling lies on the Integrity Commissions based on the Integrity Commission's response. Talk up my people.
How many court reporters should we have and what do we have now?
Well, the court reporters, they serve Parliament and they serve the Supreme Court, the Circuit Court, where you have the trials of murders and cases tried there. You have to achieve anywhere between 180, be able to type, and 200 words a minute. When you, I understand, achieve that, then you are sent to the Supreme Court because your skill and accuracy in light of the fact that you're dealing with the liberty of the subject, as opposed to when you're in Parliament. It is critical that your accuracy is right up there. I think you can suffice with a little bit lower than 180 to go to Parliament. So The shortage came about, I think, primarily because the school was closed.
Okay.
I understand there were no takers, but guess what? It takes about $1 million now to train a court reporter.
A single reporter?
A single reporter. But what used to happen in days of old, you could get scholarships or loans from the government. I believe that we should have a scholarship, right, by the Ministry of Justice, and then you would be bonded, which is what used to happen. Court reporters, 90% of them stay with court reporting until retirement.
So what number? I wanted to get some numbers.
Say about 45 are required. Presently, they are at maybe about 26, 27. And I heard another one just yesterday, I heard another one just resigned. So what has been happening, 2 left recently to become social workers because the pay is so much better. Now, a court reporter was always assessed from days of old by the Ministry of Finance in the secretarial range. I understand if you're not careful, an executive secretary earns more than a court reporter. Now, you cannot take up any secretary, whether at the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Justice, or anywhere in the system and say, oh, there's a shortage at the Supreme Court. They're in the secretarial range like you. Just go into court and go and type the evidence. It cannot work.
What you going to do about this?
Well, I'm here being a whistleblower.
Yeah.
But then I operate like everybody else.
What can we do?
Other people under the Constitution.
What can we do about
And
this?
I believe that I had to speak out because it needs to be addressed. Because I took the view that the authorities at the Court Administration Division and the Ministry of Justice were playing unwittingly the part of Nero, fiddling while Rome was burning. And let me give you some figures. For the first time since I've been a prosecutor in 30 odd years, the remnant session, that's the remaining 4 weeks at the end of the term, for St. Catherine, St. James Circuit, and Clarendon have been closed. You know what that means? We had already set 63 cases in Clarendon for the last 4 weeks of this circuit. We set them for trial already. We had already set 57 matters in St. Catherine. We had already set 80 matters. So that will be 200 cases that have been set for trial that will have to be brought forward in this session and be set off. It means that witnesses, victims relatives, accused persons in custody, on bail, will all be without an opportunity to have their cases.
What will happen, man?
Ventilated.
What will happen?
Well, what needs to happen, and I understand that this has activated and spurred the authorities to act, is for court reporters to be re-engaged. Having done my research, there are about 7 to 9 court reporters presently elsewhere that if the salary
was
consequent on reclassification was improved, they would come back into court reporting because it's a vocation and it's a skill worldwide. It's a skill that is admired. So I believe once we have reclassification and we have an increase, justifiable increase to suit the skill, I believe we'll be able to re-engage. And if we re-engage between 7 and 9 court reporters, then I think for the time being, we would be able to reopen these circuits. Yep. Also, a decision, and I think the Ministry of Justice has to take that lead, has to be made to reopen that school. And if it's even 5 persons every 2 years, offer them a scholarship, bond them, because there is a professional retired from the Canadian jurisdiction who is here, who is ready to train.
Okay.
So it means it's a decision and the will to do it that has to take place.
And I've done a video on this topic of, shortages of court reporters and them not being paid. So they're leaving the profession, so to speak. I did talk up a bag of things in it, and I totally agree with her, because I've said most of what she said in this video. That I believe that the government should fund at least 1 or 2 persons. Because I hear it for myself that to be trained to be a court reporter is very costly. And for you pay over $1 million for go to school, It's a specialized area. You can't just take up anybody to be a court reporter. So when you pay so much money for go to school and when you come back to perform your duties, you get a secretarial pay. And so that's why me have vouched from before and now say them for pay the people them livable wages. Pay everybody way in a specialist area livable wages. Same like how they can take almost 300% increase raise. The people them want them money just the same. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Run go over to my other platform, Instagram and Facebook, and follow me over there at Anisabel Rose. Check out the YouTube store, make a purchase, it goes in support of the channel. Check out the YouTube membership, you get a lot of benefits by becoming a member. We do notification shout out in each and every video. To be a part of that, all you have to do is be the first to comment, like and subscribe, and you'll be featured in the following video to come. This notification shout out goes to Jets, Nitram. Big up yourself, thanks for the continued support from each and every subscriber. New viewers, come on board, journey with me, join the family, subscribe to the channel, like up the videos, share out the videos, support the ABR movement by playing your part. On the road to 20k, help me to get there, my people. Stay tuned for more videos. Get this video to at least 500 likes. Big up on yourself.